Welcome back to Ozarks Tonight. Well, this has been a lost year for many athletes at Missouri State University as the NCAA has canceled all athletic competition through the end of the school year. For many winter and spring athletes, that means their seasons were either cut short or barely took place at all. Whyatt Wheeler with the Springfield News Leader is joining us on the show today. Now, Whyatt, what will happen to winter and spring athletes who have had their seasons ended prematurely? What is the university doing for them, if anything?
Yeah, the universities are actually going to honor their scholarships, so that's a pretty cool thing they're doing. The NCAA actually is allowing these seniors, the spring seniors who had their seniors come to an end short, and they're gonna be allowed to come back for an extra year to go back to school and go have a year to compete. Both Missouri State and Drury have said that they will honor scholarships. So it's just a matter of if some of those guys want to come back. Just thinking baseball for Missouri State's kind of is kind of my main thought there. Whether it's a guy like Ben Whetstone or Jack Duffy, just kind of they're seniors, but they can decide to try to get drafted. They can try to get picked up in free agency in the MLB because it's going to be a smaller draft this year. And then they get to decide, do I want to come back and play? It's nice that the right thing was done by both universities, just giving them that opportunity and gonna give them that scholarship.
And through all of this, there's been announcements from the state of Missouri that Missouri State University, along with other institutions across the state, will have some budget reductions coming up. Now, has Athletic Director Kyle Motes said anything in regards to whether this will impact sports at Missouri State the next school year?
Yeah, there are some changes that are going to have to be made. Because the NCAA tournament was canceled, they didn't get a sum of money from the conference that the conference would have received from the NCAA tournament. Because the NCAA tournament didn't happen, that money's not there. So they're gonna have to make up for just a budget shortfall that they had, and they've said multiple times now. A couple weeks ago, we reported that that they don't plan on cutting sports. They had to do a few years back when there was a shortfall from state funding. They're not going to have to go through that again right now. But you're looking at things like travel's going to be different. You're going to you might have to play less games so you don't have to travel. I saw in a letter that Kyle Motes wrote yesterday that travel's going to be different. Travel will be different. The quality of hotels might be different. So there's going to be little things in there that's going to be needing to save money. You might not see Missouri State just try to schedule a game against Cleveland State, where Missouri State was actually the team paying Cleveland State to come to Springfield to play. So there's little things there that we'll see here in the next year. You might not even see it yourself. It might just be things behind the scenes that Missouri State's just going to have to do to make up for this money that's been lost because they didn't receive it from the NCAA tournament being played.
For sure. And we all know for the student athletes at Missouri State and other local colleges, it is a year-round thing for them playing sports. Now let's look ahead to the fall sports for a second, and specifically football. Football hired a new coach in Bobby Petrino that made a splash back in February, I believe, was when the hire was made. Now spring football, for the most part, got wiped out. As we look ahead to next calendar year for sports, when it flips over here in July. What is on the docket for the football team? Is everything going ahead as scheduled right now, or do you anticipate maybe some changes for that?
Well, there will definitely be changes. We didn't have a spring season, and it's just there's a ton of different national reports out there right now. The thing that a lot of people are kind of talking about right now is when do you start back up with practices? And then another sub conversation there is, do you let these players go on campus? You let student athletes go on campus when you don't have students on campus. So a big focus right now is on whether or not universities will have students on campus in the fall. So there's people are looking at that. I believe the last thing I saw was that coaches want 6 weeks of practice before we have a season. So that puts us in July, that we're going to need to have those 6 weeks before we have a season that starts on time, with Missouri State playing at Oklahoma in late August, early September. So there's a lot of things that need to go on right now. There's a lot of decisions that need to be made, but nothing's normal right now. The summer, it's just a question of when practices will be able to go, but it's not really normal. It's just kind of waiting to see when they can get practices in. Just it kind of goes state by state at this point now too, just whenever things are kind of being able to open there. So it's just a whole bunch of kind of wait and see at the moment.
It definitely is. And like you said, I mean, nothing about the last month and a half has really been normal at all. And we'll just have to wait and see and what decision the NCAA makes going forward, whether it will impact fall sports or not. Whyatt Wheeler from the Springfield News Leader. Whyatt, thanks for coming on the show today. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We'll be back with more Ozarks Tonight right after this.